warm welcome to the second part of our leadership talk with Betz and Rune. I really hope you were able to receive the blessing from the first episode with Betz and with Rune, and I really hope that everything that we were able to share with you really landed in your heart. And now for today's episode, for the second part, we want to continue sharing from our heart, and I want to continue Betz having really this nice talk with him, and especially with Rune together. I mean, as you have seen, it's great, this dynamic between Rune and Betz. It's really great to have them here. And let's just go meet them again and have our second part of Blend It Up. And welcome back for the second part of this amazing, duo, having you both here. Absolutely crazy. And if you have watched last episode, you know where we left off. And let's just pick up where we left off. We talked about, you being in the darkness. You also, you are very familiar with his story, and it's a crazy story. I said it's like a movie almost when you hear it for the first time. And let's just pick up right where we left. We talked about God transforming you. You shared about how the gospel reached your heart, but you have some supernatural testimonies and experiences with Jesus. So just share from your heart. What is something that you would love to share with the people?
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, let's do a little wrap up. We have been speaking about how you grew up in a situation of civil war in Ethiopia. You came to Sweden. You experienced a lot of bullying and racism in Sweden. Then you are beaten up, and it ends up with you becoming violent, giving back, becoming a criminal, living a double life until you come to prison when you're 21. There you get a sentence for 7 years, which is a very long sentence for a young man like you that has not been in prison before. And during this time, you also have a mother that is a Christian that is praying for you. And I know that you had some years out in freedom before you end up in prison again. But during these prison years, Jesus and God starts to penetrate your life. You told us the story about the priest and how he shared the story of the robbers with you, but you also have had some experiences with God in the cells. So tell us, how did the awareness of God and Jesus, these God encounters, come to you that ultimately led you to the place where you are today?
I had a very strong encounter with an angel, the same angel. First time when I was 4.5 years old. I was in Ethiopia. We are going to Sudan. We are fleeing the war. My mother, me, and my young brother. Then, first time I saw an angel there, it was in the middle of the desert. It was pitch black. My mother, she had this vision that we should go to Sudan, and my father will miraculously come out from prison. Or she thought, everybody thought he was dead. He was disappearing. He was almost dead, they think, because they have no hope for him. And then she just had this vision that we were supposed to go to Sudan with one 4-year-old kid and one 1-year-old kid. And then we are passing this very dark zone. It was a lot of rebels there. They are raping and killing everybody. It doesn't matter who passes by. So and we were there, and then in the middle of the night, I see 2 Jeep cars coming against us, like toward us. And then first time I felt, so scared. I remember it so strongly because I was so scared. So, you think like, okay, we're going to die now because I heard these crazy stories about them, and they're like shooting the guns. But they couldn't see us. The thing is pitch black. So they're just driving our direction, and we are hiding. So I don't know. They're coming our way. And then I felt the most scared I felt in my life. First time in my life. I was 4 years old. And then from nowhere, this big angel just comes from nowhere, just appears. And I see him, and he sees me, and he tells me, "Don't be afraid." And he sees my eyes, and then he just he doesn't speak. He just speaks to my heart. He says, "Don't be afraid," 3 times, and then he said, "Don't be afraid," 3rd time, and then he just disappeared. And then I just look at my mom, and she's like, "Nobody saw the angels, just only me." And then I can see the cars just turning to the left, and they just disappeared. it was like the angel just took them in that direction.
Wow.
It was like crazy, and I didn't understand it, but I felt this peace. That was the first time. I was 4 years old. And the second time, same angel. I was 21 years old. The day before I was supposed to get my sentence. I felt this hopelessness. I was like, okay, now my life is totally messed up. I'm going to get prison in many, many years. I'm not coming out anymore. My whole life is exposed. And I just felt this emptiness, and I felt so scared. And I was like, okay, whatever happens, it happens. You know, I felt this almost giving up. And then, in the middle of the night, same thing again. But this time I was 21 years old in prison. This same angel appears, just filling up the whole room, just hovering above me. And I thought I was dreaming so I pinched myself like, this is crazy. And then he just standing just straight with me, seeing me with some, caring and not evil eyes, just caring eyes. And just told me the same thing to my heart, like, don't be afraid. Betz, don't be afraid. I'm with you. He told me that 3 times. Don't be afraid. I'm with you. And the third time he said it, this big stone from my heart just crumbled like sand. It just, it's like ice melting. I didn't feel any scared. I was not even scared anymore. And then I was like, okay. So I start to write down, don't be afraid. And then and then he disappeared directly. And then I start to trying to remember how he looked, because this is the second time I saw him. And then I had a sketch on him, so I knew how he looked. So I tattooed him here, so I have him here tattooed.
Wow. You have him there?
Yeah,
is that the angel? That's nice.
Wow.
So because I never forget. So that was just
He
one.
looks like a strong angel.
Yeah, it was
he
very...
had this big shield with a cross, crazy, and then he has this sword.
Yeah.
Hovering. And I remember the second time, the sword was bloody.
Wow.
The first time I was 4 years old, it was not bloody. It was just a sword with a big
shield.
Yeah.
And now
so that was
bloody.
the 2 first time I had this crazy. There was angel, same angel twice, and I was like the lowest time in my life. I was so scared, felt so alone, and I thought it was like okay.
Wow.
And then he appeared from nowhere and just gave me hope and just gave me a peace in my heart that it doesn't matter if you're inside a jail or if you're in the desert in Sudan. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid. I'm with you. So I knew God existed and I knew He was there, but I didn't have a relationship with Him.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but it gave me a sense of secureness in the world. I don't have to trust the world. So I know something bigger there cares for me that I knew.
Wow.
And that was the second time. The third time was when I got, I was dead then. Like you said, I died.
But how did it?
Another story.
Wow.
I died in a car accident.
Okay.
Very serious car accident. And that will take 1 hour to tell you.
But
so
you had another experience when when you got your second sentence in prison, and you were in an isolation cell. Jesus came in to the cell.
That was before.
That was before.
That was after. I mean.
Oh, that was after the car accident.
That was. This time, when I died, it was in when I.
Tell that story.
And then I was.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I was in a car accident. I was on my way to a funeral. It ended up being almost my funeral.
Oh.
So, anyways, I will not go into details, but I will tell you quickly what happens.
Yeah.
I lived in a totally different. I was like one of my darkest places in my life. I was like really, really deep connected in the darkness. I was in a very criminal. We had a criminal network spread all over the world. And robbing banks and selling a lot of big amounts of cocaine from Latin America all the way to Europe. So in that whole atmosphere, a lot of death, a lot of disappearing happened. So for me, I accepted death. For me, it was like, okay, it can happen anytime.
It's everyday life.
Many of my friends died. 2 of my best friends died in my arms.
Wow.
A lot of them, I really cared for them. I really loved them. So. Anyways, this time, one of my closest friends, he passed away, he died. And I was wanted, so I had to escape to Sweden to come to his funeral. And then after a couple of days hiding, my friends came and picked me up, and we were supposed to go to their funeral because I was wanted, so I cannot go there in the broad daylight because the police was there. So And the night I was going there because I wanted to leave some flowers and say bye to my friend. And first time in many years I felt this emptiness. Many of my friends died, you know.
Yeah.
But that was I really loved this guy. It was one of my closest. It was a kind of big brother, a big brother. Anyways, we go to in the night. It starts to rain. My friend loses control. Another car almost comes to yeah. So he pulls to the right, and we go down in a ditch, and a big stone comes in, like over 100 kilometers an hour. And then I just flew out the window, crushed my Adam's apple, half of my face, and I bled out.
Yeah.
My 2 ribs were broken. I punctured lung. I was laying down on the hood, and literally saw my life like a battery levels go down. I could see like 30%, 25%, and I was like, I'm dying here.
You saw it physically in heaven.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was laying down on my back because I was crawling up from the ditch to the big road because I tried to wave off cars because this is in the middle of the night. It's not so many cars. And that day, it poured down rain, so much rain. And then my whole face is open. You know, I had this here is titanium. I don't have any feelings here. This Adam's apple it's not even real. Anyways.
I don't know what you heard. That sound. It was very unpleasant.
Anyways, I have 12 screws, and my whole body is metals everywhere. Anyways, I went up to the road and trying to find some cope of energy to survive because I can feel my lungs just collapsing more and more because I had a punctured lung, one of my ribs broken and punctured my lung. So I sipped in a lot of
bleeding from inside.
Yeah,
probably.
so I knew I was dying.
Yeah,
and for me to be in a situation like that, I quickly understand it. The more I stressed, quicker my life, went down. So I crawled up to the road, and then I went down. I fell down on my back, and then I looked at the sky, and I saw like literally that 3% of my life left. I was like, okay,
it's
and
done.
I couldn't even breathe. The last breath I took, it came a pile of blood in my face, like, and then I couldn't breathe anymore, and I just felt my soul leave my body, literally. But it was a very pleasant and peaceful experience, You felt some peace in it. I don't know how to explain it. And I felt something, heavy in my life just leave from your soul and your body.
Yeah.
It was a very strange but very peaceful experience. Anyways, and then I wake up and I see myself, my own self, totally smashed face, in an ambulance. I see my body flowing from my soul.
Wow.
My soul is going up, and I see my body, physical body, in front of my eyes. I can't move, but I'm floating slowly up, and I can see my own body smashed up from the car accident. And it's like, that's me. I'm dead. It's like, and I can hear nothing. It's like, and I see a tunnel, red light, and it becomes like light. And the end of and then I can just move my head front, and I can just move my head down. When I look down, I see the ambulance. They're trying to revive me. They're trying to get my pulse up, but my pulse was just flat.
No.
And then I understood, okay, I'm dead. And then I heard this voice. That was the third time I know
this encounter.
Yeah, and then I heard he asked me a question. He asked me, Betz, what have you done with your life? I was like, what? And
wow.
And then when I heard that, and he didn't judge me. This voice was just asking me, what have you done with your life? And I really okay, question mark in my head. What have I done with my life? I see a dead body there. They're trying to revive me, and I'm floating slowly from that body. The only thing I can see is a light tunnel, and then I can see a shape of Jesus in the end, and that voice coming from that shape. And it was very far away, and then I said, I don't want to go to that light, and I start to see my body there, but I come farther and farther from the body. So I just see myself just go upper, more and more up. And then from nowhere, it takes me back from my childhood. In the middle of the question, he asked me 3 times, what have you done with your life? What have you done with your life? And I don't know what to say. I was like, I don't know. And then he took me from the first memory I have when I was a kid. And every memory he showed me was situations in my life when I was total alone.
Wow.
Broken, sad, angry, And he showed me every those situations. He showed me that he was with me. He showed me all the bullets were, I was in a gang war many years, and many bullets were meant for me, but he showed me that the bullets, he just misdirected them, you know. A car accident, he just took another car to the left. It was crazy, and he showed me how many, in situations, he was just, you know, just pushing me on the left, pushing me on the right without knowing it. And I thought I was by myself, you know. So
it was luck.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah. Or, you know, next time it's my life.
Yeah.
My friend got shot there, he's dead. Okay, this guy OD'd here, and this guy got, you know. So I just, you know, I never really understood that it was His grace, you know, His grace and His love and His carrying hand over my life like this from the day I was born. My whole life. I didn't know until like a couple of years ago. My mother, she told me, your name means in the grace of God. Betz means in the grace of God. And I was like, and then when I'm mature enough to understand it, I understand it. So anyways, God took me to the end of that journey, my funeral, in the car accident. Now I told you I was dead.
Yeah.
So he showed me all the situations that I thought I was totally by myself, and, you know, nobody cared, and all the beatings, all the bullyings, all the years in prison, all the years in the solitary, everything I had, this brokenness of darkness. He showed me that He was with me all the time. And I was like shocked. And then He showed me the last picture of me in a coffin. And it was surrounded by hundreds of people, my families, friends, my from all over the world. And He showed me from people's head what they thought about me. Because I had this very big hate of myself. I hated myself. I couldn't see myself in the mirror. But nobody knew that because that was like a shield I had. And then He showed me how many people really cared about me and loved me. And then I couldn't understand it. He told me, you're loved. You're loved. And I couldn't like take it when He told me that. This is that last picture. A coffin in the middle, that was me.
No.
My father, my mother, my family, and then the circle got bigger and bigger. People I knew. And then He took me to my father's head. My father was just broken. And I could feel his feelings. And then He took me to my siblings. They were just sad. And then the last person he showed me, He took me into that person's head. It was my mother. And then I hear the screaming voice, the scream. It was a scream of sorrow, sadness. And then that scream just echoed in my heart. I was like, I don't want my mom to be so sad for wasting my life, for doing this and that.
Wow.
And then I got panicked. And I was like, I don't want this. I don't want to die. Give me one more chance. Please give me. And then He sucked me in back to a big black hole. And then, because from that funeral,
you went up, kind of. Wow.
It just took me, and I said, where am I? And then I can hear nothing. It was just empty. It was like in somewhere. And then I could hear my own voice, please, I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. Give me one more chance. And then I just disappeared. And then I woke up 2 days later in hospital.
Wow.
With all these tubes and face rearranged. And the first thing I see with my eyes open is my family. And then I said, I'm alive. It's crazy, I'm alive. And then I was like seeing everything around me, and then I disappeared again. And I woke up a couple of days later. But that was the third time I had a very powerful encounter with God, you know. Or I think that was Jesus who asked me, what have you done with your life? And then He showed me when I didn't have any answer to that. So He showed me then.
Wow.
So He did it. He makes everything so easy for me to understand it, because like I told you in the break, I'm very stubborn, like a donkey, you know. I don't really understand it, how much He loves you. So I was like, okay. But it took me 4 years more after that situation. That was 2009, I think. And then it took a couple of years later, and that was the time I met Jesus first time. Came into my cell. I was in isolation for 2 years. I was like one of the most dangerous inmates in Sweden. So they put me in a special isolation. So I was there.
No contact to anyone.
Nothing. 23 and a half hours.
Wow.
23, 45, 23.
For 2 years?
For 2 years almost, yeah. And then I was... because I escaped twice, so they had this 24 hours surveillance on me. Because I always find a solution, you know. Yeah. That was my life motto, and I always find a solution out. It doesn't matter. So, but I think that was necessary, God, to like break down everything in my life, because that was the 3 days before I was supposed to get released. I got this big pressure of darkness. I can feel the devil like just trying to choke me. You know, I hanged with the devil now for 20 years almost. He was there. I thought just it was annoying. He talked to me. It was crazy. Like, man, just leave me. And then he's like, he gave me stuff. He opened doors. He was like a servant for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was his slave. But the thing is, the grace of God had this hand over me.
Yeah.
So he couldn't really like, you know, kill me or take over my life really. Because
he had
God
no
had
full
a bigger
control.
Yeah, he couldn't have full control, and that irritated the devil. I know that because he could hurt things around me, but not really me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know how to explain it, but today when I look back, God showed me many situations like this. 100%, you're supposed to be dead here, but I did like this, so now you're not dead.
Yeah,
because my hand was there, and the devil's like, you know, he can't even touch you. It was like you know, and then I didn't understand that.
Wow.
So
wow.
That day when I was so much pressured and in darkness, I felt this totally giving up, you know, like I don't want to feel this way. This is 3 days before I was supposed to go out of jail, released, and then I went down on my knees. Before I went down on my knees, I made this list of things I want to do with people. I hate this guy. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to rob this bank. And I felt every time I read down in this black list of death, I can just feel the choke got stronger in my life. I was like, I can't even breathe. I took it and I threw it away. I can't even breathe. And I asked God to come and show me his peace, or
come on,
just take me out from this. I don't want to feel this way.
Wow. And
then it took like 5 minutes. The whole atmosphere in the cell just changed from darkness, and then he's like, it's got more warmth and warmth. And then the whole atmosphere really changed, and I can hear this voice whisper to my ear, everything you're seeking in your life, you will find in me, you know? Wow. And then every time, he told me that 3 times. Third time, it really landed in my heart, and this bright shape of Jesus came into the cell through the door. Crazy. And I can't even look to the left because the shine was so strong, and I can feel this heat coming in, sitting beside me, and the fun part is jumped into my heart, picked up the pieces. My broken heart was like shattered, and I can see he picked them up and he glued them with gold, like in my heart.
Wow. Come on, man.
So, yeah, because he really wants to show me that, you know, because or else I would not understand it. I was a really stubborn, stupid kid, you know, I understand it. So, and then when he did that, then I understood. He, you know, and then he held me there. Yeah, he held me there many hours. I was crying. First time I cried in 22 years. First time. And then that was 3 days before I was supposed to go out from prison. And then, yeah, that was...
Wow, it's amazing. It's an amazing testimony. But it tells us something, that God is real.
Amen.
And I believe that there is a lot of Betz out there.
Yeah.
In the prisons, out in the suburbs. They can look very tough and hard on the outside, but the hardness is just a protection for broken hearts. And God knows how to get into those broken hearts. And we as leaders, we need to somehow wake up and understand that we are walking in the steps of Jesus, and we are doing what Jesus did on the earth. He is stretching out into darkness and pulling people out of the darkness.
Amen.
Sometimes we get so stuck and occupied by handling internal matters within the church that we forget what Jesus told us before he left this place. Good. He told us to go out there and to pull these people out of darkness and out of the ditches out there, the bleeding people of the world. This is why we are living. This is why we are leaders. This is why we are building church. This is why we are in ministry. So we just wanted you to hear these testimonies. We will hear more from Betz later on in other situations as well. He's a lot to say to us. But I hope this has been helpful and a blessing to you guys.
Amen. So good. And like Rune said, it's amazing to see. And I mean, nowadays you are the light, a light for many other people who are working in darkness, who have been through stuff that you have been through as well. And this is something that a leader is, a light for other people, shining through Jesus. So it's amazing to see that. And like Rune said, we will have you here more often, and we want to share more with you. But for today, thank you so much. And we'll see you for the next episode of Blended Up. Bless you.
Blessings.